So shall I start?
Yes, start, Avani, start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to our Phase 2 Milestone 3 presentation. Our topic is detection and analysis of cancerous white blood corpuscles from microscopic images using CNN. Our batch code is B12. We are doing this under the guidance of Professor Victor. My teammates are Prithvi, Sonali, and Likita. Now let's start with the introduction. Blood comprises of platelets, plasma, red blood cells, and white blood cells. Each one of them is made continuously in the bone marrow and released timely in the bloodstream. The normal cell growth, hampered by the exponential growth of abnormal blood cells, is the main cause of cancer. There are three main types of blood cancers, that is leukemia, myeloma, and lymphoma. Leukemia is the most critical blood disease, common in children and adults. A majority of cancer cell begins in the body parts, but leukemia is the type of cancer which begins and grows in the blood cells. Today, laboratory tests take longer interval of time to diagnose the disease of leukemia, and it is also time consuming, prone to human error, and also a tedious task. Next is the objectives. The first objective is to study the various machine learning approaches used in detection of cancerous white blood cells. Next is to compare the performance of various CNN models, to fine-tuning a CNN model for handling misclassification. And the last one is to develop a web-based CDSS, that is Clinical Decision Support System application. In design details, first that is the data flow diagram. In data flow diagram, it's graphically representing the functions or process which capture, manipulate, store, and distribute data between a system and its environment and between components of a system. The visual representation makes it a good communication tool between the user and the system designer. Here in our project, first we upload the image. After uploading the image, the blood cancer is detected, that is via classification using CNN. So from this, the disease will be detected. Next is user interface diagram. Here, first the users have to register themselves and then log in. But if the user has already registered using the credentials, they can directly log in and then upload the image. After uploading the image pre-processing takes place, that is through classification using CNN. And from this, we can detect the disease. A further topic will be continued by Likita.
Good afternoon, all. Well, let's get started with the implementation details. So our project is implemented in modular approach where each module is coded as per the requirements. The step-by-step work procedure for our project is shown in the below figure. First, the image is applied to the dataset, which contains 4,500 images. Those are all the real-time images. Then the data augmentation step. To increase the diversity of data available for training model, we are using data augmentation technique. In data augmentation step, the following steps are applied, which are denoising, edge detection, rotation of image by 30° and 60°. In denoising is a technology of removing noise or distortion from an image. Edge detection is a method of segmenting an image into region of discontinuity. This step is done before the feature extraction step. Then rotation of image by 30° and to 60°. In this step, the images are rotating at two angles in 30° and 60° in a clockwise direction, because some of the images may be turned in different direction, so it is required to rotate an image to a required degree. The third step is feature selection. The feature selection step is used to reduce the number of input variables to both reduce the computational cost of modeling and to improve the performance of our model. In this step, we deal with identifying the counting area, means the area where cells do not interfere with each other are properly separated. Then perform color normalization on the image, which helps us for object recognition as well as identification of light sources in an object. Then separate a white blood cell from the image by performing image segmentation, in which the image is partitioned into various subgroups called image objects, which will reduce the complexity of the images. Then we extract the region of interest. Then the feature vector analysis is performed, which includes extraction and selection of feature of cell images, which includes size of a cell, circulating of a cell, count of a cell, the area of cytoplasm, nucleus, etc., where the initial classification of lymphoid series is done by the shape of the nucleus. The extracted features are then compared with those stored in the database, and classification is done into AML categories to recognize acute myeloid leukemia. Finally, the extracted features are compared and verified with the CNN methodology, as you can see in the figure, which includes a set of layers such as convolutional layer, max pool layer, and fully connected layer. The convolutional layer is the first layer. Here in our project, convolutional layer hold the raw pixel values of the training image as input, that is extracted feature from it, which contains set of filters which takes two inputs such as image matrix and the set of filters whose parameter needs to be learned. Then max pool layer, where pooling layers are used to reduce the dimension of the feature maps, which makes our model more robust to variation in the position of features in the input image. There are two types in pooling layer. They are max pooling and average pooling. In our project, we are using max pooling type, which selects the maximum element from the region of feature map covered by the filter. The output after the max pooling layer would be feature map containing the most prominent features. Then fully connected layer. Here all the inputs from one layer are connected to every activation unit of the next layer to detect the stage of leukemia cancer. After CNN methodology, we will come up with the stage of leukemia, which is either L1, L2, or L3. The test strategies and test cases are delivered by my teammate Sonali.
After the implementation details, now let us move on to the testing process. First of all, what is testing process? Testing is the process of evaluating a system or its components with the intent to find whether it satisfies the specific requirements or not. We'll see the requirements it is specified or not. And moving on to the unit testing, module testing, subsystem testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. And then now let us briefly know about the unit testing. What is unit testing? In unit testing, verification efforts on the smallest unit of software design module. This is also known as a module testing. The module are tested separately. This testing is carried out during programming stage itself. In these testing steps, each module is found to be working satisfactorily as regard to the expected output from the module. Next is the integration testing, that is the combination of subsystem testing and testing. In the integration testing, it is a systematic technique for constructing tests to uncover error associated within the interface. In this project, all the modules are combined and then the entire programmer is tested as a whole. In the integration testing steps, all the errors uncovered and it is corrected for the steps. And in the validation testing, to uncover functional errors, this is to check whether functional requirements conform to specified or not. Now let us move on to the system testing. In the system testing, there are two types of sub-testing, that is code testing and specification testing. In the system testing, once the individual module testing is completed, modules are assembled to perform as a system. Then the top-down testing, which begins from upper level to the lower level module testing, has to be done to check whether the entire system is performing satisfactorily or not. After unit and integration testing, over the system as a whole is tested. There are two general steps, that is code testing. First, let us know what is code testing, and it is the strategy to examine the logic of the program. A path is a specified combination of the conditions handled by the program. Using this strategy, every path through the program is tested by using a program. In specification testing, this is the strategy where the examines the specification starting what the program should do and how it should perform under various conditions. In specification testing, it is done successfully by entering various types of data. It is to check whether both valid and invalid data and found the system is working properly as per the requirement. At last, acceptance testing. In the acceptance testing, when the system has no major problems with its accuracy, the system passes through a final acceptance test. This test confirms that the system meets the original goal, objective, and requirements established during the analysis. If the system fulfills all the requirements, it is finally acceptable and ready for the operation. After the testing process, now let us know about the test cases. Here are the two scenarios we are taking. First one is registration testing and second one is login testing. In the registration testing, we are taking the test cases. First, we have to enter the detail, that is username, password, email ID, and phone number. And the expected alert will get us a fill all the details with respect to username, password, email ID, and contact number. If we didn't enter the proper details, then the status will be failed. And after filling the appropriate username, password, and so contact number, then we will get the result as a pass. After the registration, next move on to the login testing. In the login testing, there are few scenarios, and we have to give the login details as a password, username are very much important. And if we enter the wrong username and the wrong password, we will get an alert messages invalid user. And after giving the appropriate password and username as we are given in the registration, then the status will be pass, and then we can move to the uploading image. And the further slides will be explained by Prithviraj. Thank you.
Afternoon, one and all. So coming to the screenshot, these are the screenshot of the CDSS system, that is Clinical Decision Support System, mainly developed to assist the doctors and medical staff. As you can see, this is the sign up page. Using the given below details, we can sign up, and these details will be stored in the database. And coming to the login page, you give by giving the appropriate details, we can log in into the CDSS system. And this is the page where we can upload the image, and we can detect the stage of leukemia. And this is a CNN model, that is we have developed this GUI by using Tkinter Python GUI. So as you can see, first we'll fetch the image, then load the image, then process the image. So after pressing the button of fetch image, this interface will get open from around 4,500 image. We can select any one image and then load the image into the model. Then afterwards process the image, then from RGB color, it will be converted into grayscale, followed by threshold image, mainly used to create a binary image from grayscale. Then the segmented image will be displayed. As you can see, the abnormal cells will get highlighted. Then coming to the detection scanner window, the abnormal cell will be detected in a black color or in white, and then followed by the result in the console. As you can see, this is the leukemia stage 1, or it can be stage 2 or stage 3 also. This is the result which will be displayed. And this is the project status. Data set collection has been done. Reprocessing of data also has been done. Database creation also has been done. Data augmentation also has been done. Connecting database with user interface also has been done. Remaining work is enhancement of user interface and linking the CNN model with the user interface. And these are the reference which we have used. And coming to the demo, as you can see, I'll be demoing the data augmentation. So actually it is data augmentation is mainly used to increase the amount of data available. So in this, we'll use rotation and shifting. So as you can see, first we need to import the necessary libraries from this, and then we should create an instance. So we are creating the image data generator instance, and again we need to import the necessary libraries, and using image data generator, first we can rotate the image maybe from 0 to 60. In this, we are rotating by 30 degree. Then we are shifting the image by x-axis by 20, or we, if anything, divided by 100, it should be. And even the height, here it's 20%. And zooming the image and all, it depends on how you need. This is the image which we are reading. As you can see, this is the image. So we have given single image.jpg. Then the shape of the image is red, then reshape. After reshape, this is the image where we'll get the output. So this is the batch size and the directory in which we need to store it. This, as you can see, this is empty. And this is the epochs from 0 to 30, it will run. So we'll get almost 31 images. I'll be showing. So this is for single image, and for multiple images, as you can see, first we need to import the necessary libraries. Then using image data generator, here also it is the same procedure. This is the directory where the multiple images will be stored, from which it will be fetched. So after this, this is the size of the data set. Then the image should be in JPG form and RGB color, not in grayscale or grayscale. So this is the directory in which it will be stored, multiple by 6, and this is a prefix of this. So I'll be showing this.
Prithvi, keep explaining. Okay, Ansi, that is done. Keep explaining.
Okay, as you can see, yes, it's done. As you can see, the data augmentation is done. The images are getting generated. Almost around 31 images will be generated, and this is the directory from which the image will be fetched for multiple image. As you can see, there are 100 images, and then it will be stored into this directory. Yeah. As you can see, 31 images are being generated. Since the epochs we have given from 0 to 30, so 31 images have been generated. Then now coming to the multiple image. This will run from 0 to 19, almost 20 epochs. 20 into 20, almost we'll get 399 images. Yeah, it's getting generated. .400 images have been generated. So that's it, and thank you. I want to thank Professor Victor for his contribution to this project, and he was always there for us. And now over to Avani.
Victor sir, thank you for being a backbone to all of us and giving and guiding us throughout. We have gained a lot of knowledge and learned many things from you. And thanks for correcting our mistakes and taking us in the right path. You are a wonderful teacher and all of us are grateful for you. Thank you, sir.
And actually, data augmentation was helpful from this YouTube, which was owned by our guide itself, Victor's portal. Do watch it. See, there are videos for single data augmentation on single image and multiple image, and even multiple class, and even anything related to Jupyter, and even the challenges in medical imaging. It will be useful for your project also. Thank you. Any question?
Okay, Prithvi. Nice advertisement with the presentation also. It was good presentation. Victor sir, You have
Thank-
schooled the team and the result is awesome. The nice
Thank-
presentation. My question here, only one thing is, Prithvi,
Yes, sir.
when you have taken one image,
Yes, sir.
you will be getting around 31 or 21 output results, right?
Yes, sir.
Augmented one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you take multiple image, how many
Yes,
you
sir.
will be getting?
Sir, as you can see here, one second, sir. Since there are here 100 images are there, sir. For multiple images. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Tell me, carry on.
From this directory, it is getting fetched, sir. 100.
Okay.
Then from epochs from 0 to 20, it will run. So
Okay.
since the batch size is 20, 20 into 20 is 400, sir. As you can see in this
400.
directory, one second. There are 400 images here.
Okay.
See here, sir. This is time which is generated now.
What is the
400
time
images.
complexity for the generation of the 400 images?
Sir, one second. Maybe around 1 minute, sir. I forgot to specify here, sir. Around 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay.
That depends
Nice.
on the processor speed also, sir.
Yeah. It purely depends on the hardware sectors, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, nice man, nice presentation. Everyone have done, and Victor sir, congratulations for having a wonderful team. These
Thank you,
people are
sir.
praising you like anything because the way you have screwed these people. Even Prithvi is
No,
doing
sir.
advertisement for your channel also. Nice, right, Prithvi?
Yes, okay. Actually, sir, no, the thing is, we had a couple of sessions actually, and everything I ensured that everything was done from scratch, sir. So yes,
Yeah.
so final stuff, we will be showing the entire thing incompletely. So that's it, sir. And by the way, what happened here, sir? I also pointed that out in Karthik's presentation. There is a function, like a kind of an extension which we call time. Okay, so Prithvi
Yeah.
didn't have that. Yeah, if you had installed that notebook extension,
Oh,
then
yes,
we
sir.
could have been
Down, yeah, that was I forgot. That was I was not able to say to Pratap, sir. That
Yes.
extension, even in your
Otherwise-
notebook you have, sir.
True. Otherwise, you can use this time it also, this magic function, time it also to check the time complexity, because 1 minute, I doubt it. I'm not sure it's 1 minute. So again, all things being equal, I think maybe more than 1 minute also. And again, depending on the size of the image. So yeah, that is it. And okay, guys, thank you so much for also doing the nice advertisement also. I hope I will get little subscribers in between. Okay, thank you.
Okay, just take care. Bye. No questions from my side.
Okay, students, any question, please? You can ask them, please. Nobody wants to
No,
ask.
sir, it was excellent seminar, sir.
Thank you, Shri Ganesh.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Okay, thank you. We wind up then. Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye, sir.